Welcome to another Handyman Leatherman video. Today we are building custom shelves, 2x12 shelves. But we're not just going and buying 2x12s. Let me show you. You see here, we had 2x12 shelves. And what we did is we just took 2 sheets of plywood together, glued them, and put a new front on them. Here's an example why we don't go buy a 2x12. Because they're damaged, they're warped, or twisted, they got edges on them. It's hard to make a nice looking shelf that's not going to twist on you later on. First thing we got to do is set our table saw for 11 3/4 inches. These come in a 4x8 sheet, and get somebody to help you with these. These things are awkward and they're hard to do by yourself. But once you've got a couple of them done, it goes pretty quick. Now that we've ripped all 4 pieces of our shelving, now we've got a 2x4 that we set the table saw for a 1/4 inch. We're going to rip several 1/4 inch pieces so we can put new faces on the front of this to make it look like a 2x12. Now the board I'm using here is like 6 foot. I didn't have an 8-footer, but the shelves we're building are both under 6 foot, so it will not be an issue. And always double check your measurements. Now we lay 2 boards out, put a generous amount of wood glue in there, and then we're going to flip this board over so that way we could screw them together. With the help of some clamps, I lined the corners up, put some clamp on there to hold it from moving. Put one on each side, then I could go in and put screws in. Now for this, we know that a 2x4 is 1.5 inches, so I'm using 1.25 inch screws. These are just sheetrock screws, that's all I had, but it's all you really need just to hold it together until the glue dries. You don't want to shove your screw all the way through to the other side. Put one on each side to keep it from moving, and then we can screw it all off. Now with both of them screwed together, we've got 2 full shelves. Now we just got to glue on a facing all those 1/4 inch pieces that we ripped with the table saw, we are going to stick those to that and screw them in. Find the best ones you can. We don't want any with any knots. And I'm going to stick it over just a hair off the end so the next end piece will slide up behind it and make a good look. Now with my rigid 18 gauge brad nailer, we're going to shoot these on to keep them from moving until the glue dries. Now, if you had a problem like I did, your brad nail shoots out the front of it, that's where we pull out our Leatherman Super Tool 300. And those brad nails are so easy to just grab them, wiggle it around, and they snap right off. Plus, we could tap it in and fill it. Once we glued all the pieces on the ends, you see how we just let them offshoot. Then you come back and with the jigsaw is what I like to use the best, and just cut them off flush. That way we can start sanding them. Before we do our first sand, we've got to knock in the nails that are sticking out from the brad nailer. Sometimes it doesn't get them all the way in, so we got to make sure we do that so it don't rip up our paper. After everything's smoothed out, we get some, what I'm using is 45-minute drywall mud. If you've mixed pancakes before, it's easy to mix. A little bit of powder, a little bit of water, mix till you get the consistency you want to work with, and then you just go around and smear it over all the areas, because when it dries, it's called easy sand. It will be easy to sand off with fine grit sandpaper on your sander. Well, in the sun, it didn't take quite 45 minutes, but once it's dry and it turns white, you know you're ready to sand. A 2x12 is 1.5 inches thick. So we get 2 3/4 inch pieces of plywood, glue them and screw them together, put the new faces on them, sand them down, and we have a 2x12. It looks just like them. You can paint them or stain them, whatever you feel like doing. The customer I'm doing this for is going to stain them themselves, and then I'm going to hang them up for them. Now that everything is sanded and ready to go, we cut the 2 pieces to the desired length. Now I'm doing the final sand on them so I can go take them to the customer. So let's go see how these look installed in their kitchen. Isn't that gorgeous? She got those brackets from Etsy, she stained them, and I screwed them into the walls. It's nice and secure, ready to start hanging stuff on. It's just a gorgeous way to make some nice clean shelves. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks for watching and stay out of trouble.